Now, continuing with the theme of imagining the unimaginable, we're absolutely thrilled to have here with us the Minister of State and Advisor to the Prime Minister for Overseas Pakistanis and Human Resource Development. Please give a very, very warm welcome to His Excellency Syed Zulfiqar Abbas Bukhari.
Renowned CEOs, chairmans, all leaders, luminaries, good morning and assalamu alaikum. Before I start, I want to say a special salam and a special good morning to our Honorable Foreign Minister. And I want to thank him for his being the flag bearer in a very sensitive moment and being the flag bearer for peace and sensibility and making all of us Pakistanis in Pakistan and outside of Pakistan very, very proud at a very sensitive moment. I thank Nutshell, all the people associated with this wonderful event. It's my first time here and I'm extremely honored, so thank you. I thank Asfar Ehsan in particular for reaching out and honoring me with this, allowing me to stand here at this occasion. I haven't met Ali Akai, I just saw him now, and I think, you know, when you fulfill your father's shoes or take over from where he left off, it's a fulfilling moment. It's an emotional one, but it's very fulfilling, and I'm sure wherever he is, he's looking down and feeling very, very proud. So congratulations for filling his boots. Progressive Pakistan. Where's Pakistan going? Is it on an upward swing? I think if you take the tone of all Pakistanis, their feelings, their emotions that they have for Pakistan, how much they want to give back, I probably experience it more on a daily basis than anyone else due to it being part of my remit. I think that this moment that we have at this precise time is something which is unprecedented. It's something which comes with a leader who is the only one since probably the creator of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who stands at this pedestal of being Sadiq and Amin. The leaders of the past have held many different titles, some good, some bad, but this is one leader who has only held Sadiq and Amin throughout their entire life. What that means, it means that the youth of Pakistan, the people of Pakistan within the country and outside of the country are willing to stand by him and help Pakistan progress and reach the potential what it has. Pakistan, before this elections, was at a crossroad, and a crossroad where we needed to decide that do we keep going on to this path that led us to corruption, that led us to disaster, our institutions being destroyed, or this path of hope that we have a moment of changing this, and do we take this moment within our grasp and decide to change it once and for all under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan. I want to touch upon three points which I think are extremely crucial, especially for the youth of Pakistan, especially for those that are coming back and giving towards Pakistan. One is the rebuilding of institutions and the pillars of accountability and transparency. One is leveraging human resource development and digital governance. And the other is revitalizing the economy via tourism. Rebuilding the institutions, pillars of accountability and transparency are obviously the foundation of any nation. I've always said that it's very different when you understand what corruption does. If you look at a lot of research around the world, you'll see that corruption leads to direct impact on not only your economy, but also within the social impact of human beings. If you look at one of the main reasons for terrorism across the world, a lot of it will be economic. It will be frustration. When you see natural disasters happen around the world, you'll see a correlation of terrorism increase. Why? Because a person's home has been destroyed, he doesn't have money to rebuild it. In comes a group with money, they help you rebuild it, they relocate your family, and they ask you for something in return. So we must understand what corruption does, how it decays a society in general. With this government, we are proud and committed to changing this, to bringing in transparency into our systems. We have a zero corruption tolerance policy, we have whistleblower acts, and most important, we have leadership starting right at the top that brings down a trickle-down effect of eradicating corruption. Corruption doesn't happen just by one person doing a deal and getting a kickback. High-level corruption throughout the world happens when you actually destroy an institution. If I'm a minister of my ministry, I can't do high-level corruption until I keep the right secretary, I keep the right DG, I keep the people close to me who are all the signing authorities to allow me to do what I have to do. And the only way is if I bring them into the deal. So this is the first time where we're bringing in reforms, we're bringing in civil service reforms, we're bringing in political reforms to try to build this transparency and give people this hope that how do they come and trust this government? How can this government now start moving forward with all the historical past and baggage behind it? I think the optimism that the Prime Minister brings towards this and the top-tier leadership is something which is unprecedented. The second thing is obviously leveraging human resource development within the country, and for me in particular, outside of the country. This is the first time that a government has engaged so closely and endearly with our overseas diaspora. Me being a perfect example, I think I faced probably the most amount of resistance when I came and joined the government. But I'm proud of this government that it's stuck by it, and now in the cabinet, as the foreign minister will confirm, every single important role that we have, let it be in the banking sector, let it be in the energy sector, let it be in any other sectors of the government, we always try to bring in our overseas Pakistanis, the expertise, the exposure, the experience that they share, especially the ones that when they're given a level playing field that have excelled abroad, the Prime Minister has in particularly asked the Law Minister to draft a policy and give all those permissions, give all the list of those positions which are allowing overseas Pakistanis, dual nationals, to participate. Usually in the past, whichever role had a gray area about an overseas Pakistanis, it was tilted towards the way of not accepting them, not including them, not making an inclusive atmosphere. This is the first time that I think the Prime Minister has gone out of his way to have this inclusive atmosphere for all the expertise and all the people that we can bring in abroad, which is a massive step. This brings us, I personally last week got authorized a challenger bank from the Prime Minister, which is a revolutionary digital bank for Pakistan. It will be the first of its kind in the world at a national level. You have plenty which are at a private level, but this will be the first that is being led by the Prime Minister himself and the National Bank. That again was something which is a product of overseas Pakistanis. I took some of the best brains around the world, sat them around and said, how do we increase, how do we bring more foreign remittance back into the country? How do we make transactions easy? How do we want to make Pakistan a place where people want to bank rather than for people want to run away, keep money in cash, and not be part of this legit banking system? By the grace of God, the Prime Minister approved it last week, so it's just yet another example. Same goes for the government, the citizen portal that the Prime Minister created, something that's created with the talent that we have within the country. He got experts from KPK, from Islamabad, from our IT sectors, and they created a platform which now came number 2 in the Dubai 2019 summit, World Summit. These milestones show the inclusiveness of young minds, entrepreneurial minds, and minds that were never looked at before in the previous governments. This shows the vision where Pakistan wants to go. Every single place we have, let it be my ministry, let it be the Prime Minister's office, you have complaint cells where the common man gets heard. This is the first time where you lodge a complaint, and believe me, some of them are against me, and I get them forwarded to me, that this person is complaining about this, what's your answer? So these things never happened before because no one ever had a voice. It was only a select and elite 5-6 people who had a voice for the entire Pakistan. This is the first time that people have been given this hope this desire to raise their voices and be part of this challenge that the Prime Minister has taken up. Lastly, I want to just touch upon tourism. The Foreign Minister will know about the visa situation better than I, but Pakistan, rather than isolating itself in the world, has now decided to reconnect itself with the world. We've started off with five countries that have visas on arrival. We have around 182 countries that have e-visas coming up, meaning that Pakistan wants to open itself up as a destination. We know that it's going to be a slow process for foreign tourism to increase, but it's going to be a very, very quick process for local tourism. Pakistan has some of the 9 top mountain ranges across the world. I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot of them with the Prime Minister in the past. 2 years ago, I was traveling with the Prime Minister to Kohistan, and we wanted to look for natural reserves. And we said, okay, let's find some natural reserves so we can put them up for 200 years. No one can touch them and unmarked, so people can come for tourism. And so we traveled all these areas where you couldn't get to. And I remember in particular, we got to this place above Palace where even the heli wouldn't go, so we had to trek for about a day and a half up to really see the entire view. No roads, no constructions. And I said to the Prime Minister, I said, you know, if you look at the slopes here, they're far better than Switzerland. In Switzerland, you have maybe a couple of slopes that are above 3,500 feet. Here, every slope is above 10, 11,000. Imagine if we can get a road up here, an infrastructure, and make this one of the best skiing destinations of the world. Being a complete optimism, this was at a time when the GIT was going on. We were having good days, bad days. This was, I remember in particular, a bad day. We were getting thrashed on media. And I said, you know, God, you know, give us a time when Pakistan can develop this area. And he just looked at me and he said, yeah, you know, I just can't wait to come into power and build all this quickly. And this is 2 years ago, and I was looking at him and I was thinking, do I tell this man ground realities that perhaps we're not going to really make it, or it's a tough struggle? And then I looked 12,000 feet down and I knew I was going to be thrown down head first, and so I said, no, I won't mention it just now, maybe later. But it showed you the optimism of the man. It showed you what we're here for, imagining the unimaginable. 2 things that probably I've learned from him is that the unimaginable, what is it? What does it actually mean? It means that the unimaginable should have no reality. Unimaginable means don't bring in reality into your imagination. The minute you bring in reality, it means you restrict yourself. And that's something I think that no one's done better than the Prime Minister, whose entire life has been basically unimaginable. 2 things that I'll leave with you for the unimaginable is never bring reality into it, but always bring truth and bravery into it. Truth, because all unimaginable things should start and end with truth. And bravery, because it's not difficult, it's very difficult, to stand by the truth. So I welcome events like this. I think they're brilliant for the diaspora, and especially for the youth who are so important for Pakistan at the moment. And I just want you to know that this government stands with you, stands with everybody that wants to give back to Pakistan, and Pakistan is finally open for business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So we all know where we'll be planning our next vacation, be it skiing or be it hiking. And again, thank you so much, Syed, Zulfiqar, Abbas Bukhari. Very, very inspirational speech there. And I think too also reminding us of the power of the people, and not just the power of the people, the importance of the people. I think a very, very ambitious program of reforms that you all have laid out. And I believe, you know, we are all indeed behind you as you make sure these reforms are put into place.